And Nancy, we know you talk it to death.
I know.
I mean that in the most loving way, but you talk it.
It doesn't feel very loving, but yeah, I do like to process it, and I like to make sure everybody, and even if you're not fine, I just need to know that. Like, I don't find, it's not comforting for me for somebody to tell me everything's fine, when I know that they don't feel that. Like, that doesn't help me. It helps me to be authentic, to be like, you know what? I'm not doing well right now, or this is worrying me right now, or I'm not totally sure how this is all going to get figured out. I believe I'm a half full person. Like, I do believe we'll get there and we'll get it figured out. But I need to kind of have the roadmap of like, what are our steps that we're moving towards that direction? Yeah. Because I can't just be idle and be like, it will be fine. Welcome to Three Lil Fishes. We're three sisters who grew up in the Midwest together, but have since spread across the country. I live in Los Angeles.
I'm in Nashville.
And I live in Philadelphia. We are all married with children, have all had careers, but now we stay at home with our families.
Join us as we share secrets and stories about being women, wives, and mothers.
We welcome you to laugh along, learn something new, reach out, and join our conversation.
So let's jump in.
What's up, fishes?
What's up, fishes?
What's up? Well, I'll tell you what's up here. Let me just share with you that I have not confessed to you all, but so when we moved into our house years ago, we downgraded our bed. We had a king bed and we downgraded to a queen because our footprint of our current room, we felt like it would just be too much. The bed didn't fit. Yeah. Right. So we're like, that's fine. And Tim's like, we don't need a king anyway, because you like to cuddle next to me anyway. So it doesn't matter. And I'm like, okay. So, but as you move, you spend a lot of money. We're buying a house. And I'm just like, didn't really want to spend a ton on a new bed, but I did want something new. So I did the Wayfair thing and I bought a queen bed frame.
You mean like a Wayfair. Bed frame?
Like a frame.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And we got a nice mattress, but like the frame was from Wayfair. And Tim was like, I don't love this idea, but that's fine. He's like, and if we don't like it, like we can change it out later. But when the time it was delivered, he's like, I hate this frame. It's so cheap. I'm like, but it doesn't look cheap. He's like, it feels cheap. And he like always had a bad attitude about it, but we never changed it because it was fine and there was nothing wrong with it. Well, several months ago, we noticed our bed, like it didn't feel as solid as it had been. And so we were like, is this starting to break? And the kids come and climb in on our bed. So the other night, Tim and I break our bed. We literally break our bed. Like, crack! Like the bed is
oh.
I mean, okay. You guys, what? And Tim and I are like, oh my gosh. And it was loud. And it was like, are people going to be coming in here to be like, what's going on? But then he tried to like jig it to like fix it. I mean, it was ridiculous. So we are like 911 alert to get a new bed. So I was on Marketplace, which I would never really buy furniture on Marketplace. I know people do it. And actually why I did it is because a good friend of mine's like, lots of people are moving, they get stuff and it doesn't work. You should look on there and see if you can find something just because you're in a hurry. And I'm like, okay. So I look on there and it just so happens that there was this staging bed. And it looked nice and it looked like a decent bed. and that's what they do here a lot. I think they do it everywhere. They buy these staging beds and they never use them. So we pick up this bed. Tim's like, well, let's try it. So he goes and he gets this bed and picks it up. And he's just like, and I'm taking Riley to a driving lesson. And he calls me and he's like, yeah, I'm not sure that this is going to work. It's a nice bed, but it looks like it's for a child's room. And Johanna's super excited about it. I'm like, okay. In the meantime, we had already taken down our bed, our broken bed. It's no longer in the house. So I get home, we move this frame out of our room, move it into Johanna's room. And we set it up, and then we put her mattress on because it looks like doesn't even look like it's a queen. It looks like it's really between a queen and a full, and she has a full mattress. We put her full mattress on, and it's too short. So we're like, okay, let's put our queen mattress on and see if it fits. And it does. So Johanna's like, oh, I'm getting a new bed and everything. I love it. And we're like, yeah, you do. You have this whole new setup. So let me recap.
You have no bed and no frame.
Correct. So Tim and I have a broken bed that's on the curb. We have a no frame, no bed, but Johanna is set.
It has an all new thing.
So we go out shopping for all new things, which let me tell you, that was not in the cards for me wanting to do, but we had to. So long story short, we bought a new bed and a new mattress, gulp, and it's coming this week. But in the meantime, we're having to be in Tim's office, and we have a pull-out couch in there. Mm-hmm. And I think it's smaller. It's smaller than
on that. Yep.
Yeah. It's not as comfortable as I wish it would be for anyone to use, but that's what we have. And I feel like it's smaller than a queen. Like it feels between a queen and a full maybe. And last night...
There's no such thing as something between a full and a queen. It's probably a full.
It's how it feels. And Tim in the middle of the night is like, Nancy, what are you doing? What are you doing with these covers? I'm like, what? I'm not doing anything with covers. He takes it and puts it under his chin and somehow does this big swoop, and they all go flying off. But somehow this is my problem. So again, we're not sleeping well. We're in the office. We're in total chaos. And I look like death. I look like death.
No, I actually don't feel like you do. Before we got on air, I commented how put together you look. Like your hair is swooped up, you've got the jewels on. I think you look totally put together. So you're pulling it off.
Yeah, well, it's fake. It's fake. All right, y'all.
Sometimes faking it is what you got to do.
So, today's show, we are going to talk about reflection and connection. So we're going to reflect on last week a little bit and talk a little bit more about connection. But before we get into it, I just remind everybody to please rate, review, and invite your favorite fishes to join our conversation. Okay. What's the buzz?
Well, do you guys remember when we read We Solve Murders? The guy who wrote that, William Osman, also did this Thursday Murder Club, and that was made into a movie, and it's on Netflix right now, and it's adorable. So I did watch it. It's very easy to watch. There's nothing other than a murder. There's nothing
there's a
bad
few
in
murders.
it. There's no bad language or drugs or sex or anything like that. It's just an easy, fun little show to watch. And I think they kind of set it up where it could be maybe a series of movies or whatever, which I hope they do because I thought it was kind of cute.
Yeah. I actually enjoyed it too. I thought Helen Mirren and her name Joyce Selena. The lady that played Joyce, Selena Emery. I thought that the two played off each other really well. I mean, there were times Peter and I were just laughing at them because they were kind of cute. The only character, I loved Pierce Brosnan in it, but I could not get into his character because he was like an unmade bed. And I always think of Pierce Brosnan as James Bond, and it's this guy's not this person.
He's not James Bond. Yeah.
But I feel like that's good then. That means that he was pulling off that character well. If you were like, wait, where's James Bond? Right?
Yeah.
So,
no, but I couldn't get there. Good. I just was like, oh, you're not.
Yeah, you're mentally confused. You're like, oh no.
But I thought it was cute.
Yeah, I thought it was cute. So watch it.
All right, check it out. All right, I tell you what was not PG was the Charlie Sheen documentary. I could not stop watching it. It was this train wreck of his life. And has anybody watched it? I don't even know what the point of this doc was for him to do. it made me not like him at all. And I'm not quite sure what the purpose was. Did anybody else watch it?
So I can tell
Yes.
you, I did not watch it. I'm not going to watch it. I don't like him. I'm not supporting him. I did see like a little clip of it on TV, and I was like, I find you very distasteful, and I'm not getting on that train. So I'm sorry I didn't watch, but I know you girls did.
I ended up watching it just haphazardly because I was running over the weekend and I was like, I need something to keep me going on the treadmill. So I'm like, oh, I'll just see what this is about and I'll shut it off if I hated it. And then it just kept me intrigued. I was like, how can somebody be such a train wreck? I mean, I
Well,
guess I remember it, back when I was younger and I remember him, but I didn't
Hmm.
realize how severe his drug problem was.
oh
And I've
yeah.
never done drugs, so I don't know that addiction part of it. But I was kind of like, wow, I had no idea that this happens to a person. They get like so, changed and so addicted that, I mean, the things that he went through and like he brought in Nicolas Cage, when they were in their 20s, like talking about him, and I was like, I hope you got permission to talk about him because I wouldn't say that put him in a good light. But I mean, I just kept watching thinking this guy has gotten so many breaks and I'm not sure why everybody gave him so many breaks. I
Because he
still,
made a lot of money. He made a lot of money. He made people a lot of money. Like money talks, and that's why. Like
yeah,
that
I guess.
I thought for sure you would have liked it, like been intrigued because you love the 80s and he was in a lot of 80s
Yeah,
80s movies that I think you liked. But it does highlight, Kathy, addiction and mental health. The other thing he said was he's bipolar and he's an addict, right? So it's
yeah.
like I thought it highlighted what that looks like really well.
And I have to say, his ex-wives, like when I first started watching it, when I saw Denise Richards on camera, I didn't even recognize her. I was like, who is that woman? And I
Yeah.
was like, wow. I mean,
Time
you
has
Yeah.
know,
not been kind to her.
life has not been good. And I would even say that he does not look good. I mean, he obviously has been through so many rehabs and like a lot of drugs have gone through his body and HIV also, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
say he looks great compared to when he was like 20.
Uh, no, I mean, life has been hard. How he's alive is unbelievable to me. Like some things that stood out to me that I thought
Yeah.
was interesting. Martin Sheen and Emilio Estevez were not in it. So we all know Martin is his dad. Emilio is his brother. They
Hmm.
chose not to be in it. Like Charlie said many times, this is kind of a love letter to my dad. I'm sure being my dad has been terrible. I think he's probably put them through a lot. Um, and
Yeah. I mean,
he has five children. Only two of them made an appearance on the doc, and I thought that it kind of tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. Like particularly his daughter, I think it was Lola, his youngest daughter, was in it, and I just felt her grief of. I think it's been a tough childhood. Was my impression.
I'm sure it has.
Um, so
Hopefully
yeah, and
he'll
then
keep his act together.
the other thing was too, they had Heidi Fleiss on there, and
oh,
who was the
yeah.
madam, and
She looks
she to
terrible.
me, she looked totally strung out, and she clearly does not like Charlie Sheen because he connected her to her sex operation, and it was interesting about addicts don't always take responsibility most often. And he was like, I never thought her business was bad. It was consensually adults and it was a business transaction. But then the prosecutors came to me and said, we're trying to get her on tax evasion. She's not paying taxes. So Charlie's like, oh, well, when they said it that way, it's not really my fault that I got her in trouble. She didn't pay taxes.
Well, he
So this
didn't want to
isn't
go
really
to
my problem,
jail.
and he didn't want to go to jail. So it's
Yeah.
like he
Who
made it seem
does?
like it's really on her. But I was like, dude,
I mean, that's an
no,
addict for you. They don't take responsibility for their own actions a lot of times. They're
for
Yeah.
victims.
sure,
So,
for
The
sure.
one thing I did agree with you about is that I thought Martin Sheen, I mean, he seems like he, just through the eyes of like what Charlie was saying in this movie, like he was trying to be a good dad. And
Yeah.
I think that made him look really good. So I don't know. I hope that his family and it all works out and his young sons are okay and his kids. But yeah, it makes you
Yeah.
wonder, like, why is he doing this all of a sudden? Like,
Yeah, and the
Right.
other thing is he wasn't even doing like a good thing for like HIV either, right? He's HIV positive, and I felt like in the documentary he really played that down.
yeah,
Like HIV is not necessarily a death sentence anymore, but you definitely don't want it. And he also has the means to be able to pay for his medication and to pay for treatment. And he just made it seem like it was not a big deal and that he did not give it to anybody else. And he wanted to make that perfectly clear. And I'm like, I don't believe that that could be true since you were such an addict. Like, I don't know if that's true, but I didn't like that he downplayed the HIV so much. Like,
right.
I'm glad he's responding to the treatment. I'm glad that he's living a full life, and lots of people do. But you also have the means to be able to take care
Yeah.
of yourself. So
Well, I want to say one thing too. I saw on Instagram that Megyn Kelly was interviewing Charlie Sheen the other day and asked him about Nicolas Cage because he kind of threw him under the bus in this documentary, and he said that Nicolas Cage said he was fine with the whole thing, and I'm like, I don't know how you can be like without being like warned that that was going to happen or something. I just think it's weird. I
yeah, I
think it
mean,
goes to show like drugs really do affect your brain and like you probably don't remember things that happened, you know? I mean
and
there's
maybe, yeah, and maybe Nicola, I don't know, maybe Nicolas Cage is like, you know what, that was my past. This is who I am now. I worked hard to get
yeah,
clean.
maybe.
Like, you can't rewrite your history either. I mean, who knows? All right, check it out. It's like fascinating train wreck if you're into that. Um, Matthew McConaughey is also making the news because he's promoting a new book and he's promoting a movie, The Lost Bus. Um, and he was like, he's interesting to me because he says that he leaves himself post-it notes around the house sometimes with little notes to motivate him. And one post-it note he said is, just remember, one day you're going to die. And
Oh,
I, and I think that he's telling himself, like, like work through it. Like, don't,
Yeah.
this is your time. Like, don't just sit on the sidelines or like work through the stress. And Linda, it kind of made me think of you because um, I don't know, it just kind of made me think of you, like thinking about like how you kind of deal with stress. So it kind of leads me into our next segment of reflection. Because last week I was listening to our podcast and we were talking about connection and we were talking about kids and struggling in school a little bit. And
right.
I was listening to our podcast and we said, or you said specifically, everything's fine. Everything's going to be fine. So everything, like, I'm not worried about it. And I was just like, but it got me thinking that that's how you deal with stress. You are like, everything's fine. I'm not going to get spun out by this. I have to talk about the feelings. I have to like work through it and like feel it and figure out how I'm going to go through it. And Kathy, you are like, I'm going to play golf, or I'm going to like, just like, I'm going to put on that Charlie Sheen documentary and run. Like, you just like
Yeah.
vacate your feelings. So it got me thinking about how we all do it differently. And even Matthew McConaughey, remember, one day you're going to die.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
I
know if
think
I feel like
you did call me out. You called me after the pod dropped and you were like, you said fine like 20 times. And I was like, but nothing super bad's happening and it will be okay. It's just sort of inconvenient at the time, like in the moment. There are times where I am spun out and I am upset. It's just not that often. Like, not a
yeah.
lot happens that I feel like, oh my gosh. Like, we do have a child that got diagnosed with like a chronic illness recently, and that kind of spun me out, trying to like get my head around that. And again, she's fine, but it was just getting to that point was sort of stressful, and it kind of happened at the same time I was sending all the kids to school, and I just felt like very overwhelmed. And I did call like two of my friends that I like was crying on the phone because I was like, I'm so
oh,
overwhelmed right now. I need help.
yeah.
Like, help me watch this child that we're going, you know what I mean? So
help you watch the child that you're sending to school because you
Yes.
feel like you can't be there, and
Right.
because you're trying to help your other child like maneuver this new medical
And
stuff.
thankfully I have these amazing friends, and they do pick up the torch and like hug on, whoever they see, which is incredible. But yeah, I mean, for me, I think it's like I am naturally a worrier. So if I say I'm not super worried about this or it's going to be fine, I really do internally feel that, and I don't get out of control, and I don't have sleepless nights. So that does help me. I don't know. It's just a tactic for me, I guess.
Well, and I think the other tactic for you is like you are like, okay, this is the information. Like now, you do research to figure out how you're gonna deal with it. And I think a strength watching you do this. So one of your kids has a blood clot, like a blood clot disorder. So they have to be on a blood thinner, which sounds alarming, right? So your thing has been like research and figuring out how to support them, like moving through this. And you've done it pretty calmly. And you've also really encouraged them to do their own research as they've kind of, I think that they've handled it pretty well too, or no?
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I do think we've done a lot of things wrong when we've raised our kids, but one thing we have, I feel like, done pretty well, and that is like in high school, sort of like letting the leash go and having them like schedule doctor's appointments, go to the dentist by themselves, have those sort of like adult kind of relationships, so that when they left for school and something came up, because everybody gets sick when they're in college, for sure.
Yeah.
Like maybe not like a blood clot, but everybody gets sick. So you have to be able to manage through that a little bit. And they call me all the time. And like my youngest just told me he has an abdominal hernia. And so he went to the doctor yesterday.
Wait. So your youngest, who you just sent to college, just called you to say he has an abdominal hernia.
Yes.
Like, well, how did that happen? And did you know he wasn't feeling well and that he was going to go to the doctor?
So he told me his stomach was kind of like bothering him, and he thought he had just pulled a muscle, and we talked about it. And I was like, I think you have a hernia. You need to go to the doctor. And so he did. And I sent him a picture of our insurance cards, and he did all the stuff, and he went and he called me. He's like, yep, I have an abdominal hernia. I need to go see a surgeon and decide what to do. And I was like, okay, well, get it handled and let me know. And so I think he just, like, it was a backflip that went wrong. For whatever reason, he's obsessed with doing backflips on the ground.
It's his party trick, I'm guessing. Is it his party trick? Jack's here, backflip, here I come.
So he probably twisted wrong or did something weird. It's not a huge hernia. I don't think it's going to be a big deal. It's just one more thing.
So, Linda, can I ask you really quickly to go back to like the blood clot with one of your kids is like, and that got diagnosed, and it's something chronic that she's going to have to manage. Mm-hmm. Like, how did you guys kind of decide to, like, how does she wrap her head around that? Is that something that it's like something it's easy for her to manage? It's just medication, and just a mindset of like, it's not a big deal. This is just medication, and just listening to her body. Because I want to just highlight too, what you've really done well. And I think Kathy has too with her kids, is advocating for themselves and paying attention to their bodies when something doesn't seem like Jack just went to the doctor because he clearly wasn't feeling right. Like your other one went to the doctor because something wasn't right. She wasn't feeling well, and she went back more than once. So like, walk us through, like, is that something that you have told them to advocate for themselves, or is that something that they're calling home and you're like, go to the doctor? Like, how are you helping them make those steps to advocate for themselves and their health?
Well, I think it starts like earlier. Like once they leave your house, you really don't know what's going on unless they tell you. So maintaining like a good relationship with them. I mean, I don't know everything, and I don't want to know everything, but I know the big stuff, and I do feel like they know we're here to support them. I know Kathy's kids feel that way too. It's like you have to have that relationship before they leave. I mean, the blood clotting thing is not fun. It's hard. It's lots of blood work. She doesn't have her dose down yet, but she has been assigned a person at Vanderbilt, which has been amazing. And he communicates with her twice a week and really kind of works through all the stuff with her, it causes a lot of medical fatigue, and it's frustrating to not feel good all the time. So just managing all of your feelings is hard. I know they do have like mental health people that help them, and she goes and talks to somebody to sort of like dump her feelings out, and
that's great.
get some good like tools. I think whenever you go through something like that, it's stressful, and you're in school, which is stressful, so it's like being able to have those coping mechanisms, and you can't figure it out by yourself necessarily. Like, so it's good to have somebody kind of help you, like, this is, how you compartmentalize. These are some tricks of the trade and blah, blah, blah. So I give her a lot of credit. Like, she's a very evolved child, and she is fine, and she's going to be fine. She just has to be on top of it.
She is fine for sure.
For sure.
And I think it's great that she's able to like verbalize that this sucks, and I hate that I have this, but
it sucks. It really
does. I'm gonna manage it, and I'm gonna figure it out, and hopefully it will get easier as she goes on. And of all the things to get in life, this is an easier thing to manage.
I mean, I think in this day and age too, there are a lot of like tools you can use. She's getting this at-home blood test like machine, so she won't have to go to the hospital going forward. It's a process and hoops you have to jump through with insurance and stuff like that. But I think that will increase her quality of life. And that's what you want. It's like the best quality of life you can have with the cards you're dealt. So that's what we're working through, now.
And it also got me thinking, Kathy, I think you talked about this at the beginning of the semester, of reminding people, what is that form, that medical form that parents should fill out so that they can have access to their kids' health care.
Yeah, the mama bear forms.
Yeah, because Linda, you've actually needed it for both of your kids that have been gone. Like, it's been really helpful. So remind us what those forms are again.
So they're called Mama Bear, and they have all the different forms, like the financial form, the healthcare form, the powers of attorney. They're all on there. So it's a great site, and it's reasonable.
Yeah. And it is something you want, because as your children are still children, they're on your insurance, you're paying for their life. Mm-hmm. You can't talk to the doctors unless they give you permission to talk to the doctors, because they're adults. And I'm doing like air quotes there. So,
the young adult is
air quotes, adults.
Yeah. So it's good.
So you guys, this also got me thinking, like, so as we like deal with stress differently. So Kathy, how are you dealing with your stress? Like, Linda says everything's fine. I kind of joked and said that you're golfing. Is that fair?
Well, I mean, I have been golfing a lot, that's for sure. And I actually think golf
I can't talk now, Nancy. I can't talk.
I think golf causes me more stress at times, honestly.
Oh, that's hard.
But I do think that I do exercise more just to like deal with stress. And I do realize that, like, I internalize it all, and I worry like you do, Linda. I mean, probably everybody worries, but I don't want to like blow up at someone because I'm like worried about all these things. So if I like go for a run or go for a walk or whatever, then I can kind of mentally calm down and be like, okay, what is important? And kind of get it in a list in my brain that I can like actually talk about it, instead of being like, what are we going to do? Without flying off the handle.
You need time to process internally. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I do.
That's a great tool.
Because you often, if you get pushed too much, you say, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you do. Like you do say that.
Well, I think, stress comes in layers, and then you get like so many layers, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to blow up.
Yeah.
So you definitely have to deal with it, because you can't ignore it.
And Nancy, we know you talk it to death. I mean that in the most loving way, but you talk it.
It doesn't feel very loving, but yeah, I do like to process it, and I like to make sure everybody, and even if you're not fine, I just need to know that. Like, I don't find, it's not comforting for me for somebody to tell me everything's fine, when I know that they don't feel that. Like, that doesn't help me. It helps me to be authentic, to be like, you know what? I'm not doing well right now, or this is worrying me right now, or I'm not totally sure how this is all going to get figured out. I'm a half full person. Like, I do believe we'll get there and we'll get it figured out. But I need to kind of have the roadmap of like, what are our steps that we're moving towards that direction? Yeah. Because I can't just be idle and be like, it will be fine. Like, that doesn't, my imagination goes crazy, and I will think of the worst situation. So that's not healthy for me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think it's funny how we all deal with it differently. And I think it's funny how
it works. It works for all of us. So
it just was like last week though, in particular, I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to talk about this, because like, I was like laughing when I was like listening to it. It's fine. It's fine. This kid's fine. Like, and the other thing I want to say about last week really quickly is that we talked about some of these kids coming home from college, that they were deep in their like college career and they were unhappy. And I heard a story last week about a kid who was being literally dropped off for her junior year. And the more they got closer to school, the more anxious she got. And she was sobbing and physically upset in the car. And her parents were like, well, what do you want to do? And they're like, I don't want to go back to school. And I think it's really brave of the parents. Like, we talk the talk, we have to walk the walk. Like, of all these parents supporting these kids, of being like, okay, this isn't a good fit for you. I am here for you. I am going to walk the walk. I am going to tell you that I have your back, and we're going to figure out why this isn't a good fit for you and what's going on, because your health and happiness is more important than you checking this box of putting you back into an environment that you're not going to succeed at.
And I would say, like, I have some friends who have gone through this too, and every single one of them has supported their child. But they also say to me, as an aside, like, it is fine until it happens to you. And then you kind of take it personally, like, oh my gosh, what happened? What did we do wrong? Right. But the reality is, it has nothing to do with you as a parent necessarily. It has everything to do with that child and whatever circumstance they're in. So, you be brave too as a parent, and just buck up. It's going to be okay. It will be fine. Just keep moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, just keep moving forward. Yeah. Right. That's exactly right. Okay. So as we talk about this, I'm going to now jump into like the reconnection. So like, we've talked about all these stressors and how we deal with stress. Mm-hmm. And Linda, you have a lot going on with particularly two of your kids, like working some stuff out. Kathy, I know that life at your house has been stressful with, having just one kid at home now and work and just trying to manage this new norm.
Right.
Like, how do we reconnect with our husbands? Like, last night, Tim and I are like fighting over sheets, like not on purpose, but like, what are we doing to have fun, to connect, like to kind of let the stress kind of go away and have fun and lean into that?
Right. Well, I did a little research, and I did find, there's lots of like therapists out there if you feel like you need a therapist or some professional help. Mm-hmm. But I found a lady, she's practices in Florida, and I will post in the notes. It's called Plantation Relationships. But I just read a few things that she had to say about couples. And the biggest takeaway was you have to reconnect with your spouse. Like, you have to schedule. The most important thing, honestly, is scheduling like a date night, because you have to find time for each other. And she said one thing that I thought was like a really cool saying was, the grass is always greener where you water it. So, we need to start watering our relationships and schedule that date night, or go for a walk, or do a hobby, or do a puzzle. But I think the biggest thing, I love date nights, and my husband and I, we just spend a lot of time on the golf course, but I wouldn't say they're like dates. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of thinking, we all kind of were like, we should probably plan a date night with our husbands and just see what we all come up with in our own states, what we're going to do. And so I came up with the idea. My birthday's in October and it's like fall and the leaves are like changing. And there's a place that I've never been to. It's called New Hope, Pennsylvania. It's supposed to be like a quaint little town, but it has a tower that's like 120 feet tall that you can overlook the foliage. So I'm going to have
fun.
Peter and I climb the tower. I think it's like a little rickety, like that's what they say. And then maybe we'll go have a cute lunch or something like that in the afternoon after we're through.
Yeah.
But I hope that's my date for sometime in October for the two of us.
And where is this in Pennsylvania?
It's called New Hope, Pennsylvania.
New Hope. All right. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I do too. Kathy, you're doing something healthy, and I'm going to Oktoberfest because Oktoberfest, we did it last year.
I love Oktoberfest.
I love that too.
I don't know if you guys remember, I went last year and I won a boot of holding up this glass filled with beer. So we're going to go do that again. And I'm looking forward to just listening to music and having a little fun.
That so
Rich
cool.
and I, we actually had like a little mini date in our pool last night, but I did talk to him about this the other day. And something we have not ever done living here in Nashville is gone line dancing. So I'm going to get us to do like a line dancing class. Like I've done it before, but I've never done it with him. So I think we're going to have a line dancing lesson.
That sounds fun.
date.
I'm going to have to come down to Nashville.
Yeah, you are.
Participate.
Kathy, I think you want to be a little bit country. You've really leaned into Grayson being in Texas.
Yeah.
I think we need to get you some boots and a hat.
I mean, I could be a little Texan every now and then.
That's fun.
Maybe live in Nashville one day. I don't know.
Yes. I'm going to come to Nashville. I love that idea.
All right, you guys. And I'm just going to end on this little quote, I started kind of talking about what this buzz with Matthew McConaughey was in What's in the Buzz. But another thing, I cannot believe I'm quoting Matthew McConaughey, but I am.
I don't know what's happening.
So, I mean, I don't know what's happening either, but he said that somebody, he had a roommate once who went to go see his great-grandfather before he passed. And his roommate came back and said that my grandfather said something to me that I'm going to remember. And Matthew McConaughey has remembered this. It says, I've had many crises in my life, and most of them never happened. Meaning that some crises are worth giving credit to, but a lot of it isn't. It's just a beaten time that you kind of have to get through. So as we close out this segment, might be good to think about as we talked about how we manage feelings and deal with life. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. What's for dinner?
So I have dinner this week. I have this food blog that I love. It's called The Food Dolls. I think we've shared some recipes from them before, but I'm hosting tonight a young couple at our house, and I'm making the Food Dolls lemon, chicken, and potatoes. And it's like a one-pot dish, with herbs and fresh lemon juice and garlic and chicken and potatoes. So that's what's for dinner, and we will post it in the show notes. So check it out.
That sounds good.
Yeah, that does sound good.
Hey, Linda, before we move off of what's for dinner, I wanted to also circle back from a podcast a couple weeks ago where we did Donna had sent us a recipe about her pasta dish. And I wanted to kind of talk about that for a minute because we kind of just glazed over it. So Kathy, will you remind us what that pasta dish was and where it actually came from? And then Linda, I think you tried it.
I did.
The Angel Hair Fanucci.
Yes.
Yes.
I meant to ask you, when we were actually doing the podcast, I was like, what's Fanucci? Is that a kind of pasta that I don't know? What's Fanucci?
No, it's the name, the family's name. So they used to own a restaurant in the Poconos in Pennsylvania. And that recipe, the Angel Hair Fanucci, was on their menu. And my friend Donna said it was one of her favorite dishes. So she shared it with me because she knows I like pasta. And so that's why I shared it with you all.
Oh,
Well, I ended up making it, and it was very good. And it calls for peas. And I don't love peas, but I did follow the recipe, which is not like me. I normally kind of go off script a little bit, but I didn't. I followed the recipe, and I served it to my husband, and he was like, "Are there peas in here?" And I said,
"Yeah, I know, because you throw them on in the end."
Yeah, and so, but he ate it, and he was like, Lynn, the peas give it a little something. I like it. And I said, I do too. So anyway, good job, Fanucci family. I thought it was worth making. It was very easy. And so it was good.
I thought it was pretty good too. My son gave it an 8.5.
Oh, that's pretty high.
Yeah,
that's good.
I thought so.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So if any of you of our listeners, want to try this lemon chicken or this pasta that we kind of revisited, be interested to see what you all think of it. Drop us a note.
Let us know.
Oh, and a friendly reminder before we end for today. We're almost in October. So we have our October challenge of walking for 20 minutes a day. So starting next Wednesday.
Yes.
Gear up, fishes. It's time to start moving.
Okay. Get our walking shoes on. All right. Well, we want to thank you for listening to our podcast and letting us sisters jump into your day. Please make sure to follow, rate, and review us. It is officially fall, so happy fall, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Fishes out.